Good evening, everybody. Thanks for joining us on this webinar. Obviously, tonight we're going to be running through the payments and match fee side of things. Obviously, a couple of different ways that you guys can potentially look to increase revenue through this season. And obviously, generally, we'll just have a bit of a Q&A. What we are going to do at the start of this, as you guys will be aware, we usually sort of run through a bit of the PowerPoint, explain what we're going to cover, and then obviously move into a more so demo side of things with the Q&A. We do have something that we want to cover, sort of a new release relating to Stripe Connect Express. I'm sure a lot of you will have seen emails going around about that. So what we'll do, we'll go through that side of it. I'll answer any questions that you guys have got on it. And then obviously from there, we'll move into the sort of more demo side of things after the fact. So obviously we're less than 6 weeks away for the start of the season for you guys. I know some of you will be well underway with collecting fees already. Some of you may not have decided to go that far yet, as you may be looking to collect close to the start of the season. But obviously now is the perfect time to either review and get things moving, or just have a double check of what you're doing. Make sure that you're happy with the processes that you've got in place. So as always, you've got multiple ways that you can actually get in contact with us. So as most of you guys will be aware, you can contact myself directly. That's w.dunkley@pitchera.com. So that's w.dunkerley@pitchera.com. And then also you've got the support team as well, which is just support@pitchera.com. And then also at the top there, you've got the option to obviously booking calls with us. So plenty of ways to get in touch. Any questions that you have about absolutely anything, feel free to get in touch. We're more than happy to help with absolutely anything we can. So as I say, Stripe Connect Express, that's sort of one of the big things that we've released recently. It's all to do with getting you guys a lower fee, in essence. So obviously, some of the main features as we've put on here. So Stripe Connect Express, it offers the lowest fees for obviously credit card, debit card, Apple Pay, and Google Pay. So you guys as clubs, if you are using Stripe Connect Express and have signed up, created an account, connected it to your products, you'll be getting the lowest fees on the market for that. Obviously, as I say, in terms of fees, the Stripe Connect Express fees begin from as little as 1.67% plus 15p per transaction. Some of you guys at the minute will be paying on normal Stripe accounts 3.4% plus 20p. So as you can see, there is quite a stark drop off. Obviously, that is all dependent on what package you're on, etc. We do have a price promise on these fees as well, but if you're wanting to know any further information on that, please feel free to get in touch with us. That's something we can obviously discuss offline and keep it sort of more club specific. So again, that's support or contact myself directly. More than happy to sort of run through things with you on that side of it. And then the last thing that is a really big thing that some of you guys may be aware of and some may not be, is with Stripe Connect Express, there's actually no processing fees on recurring revenue, and that is actually quite a big thing. So Stripe recently introduced, I think it was sort of towards the back end of last year, a recurring 0.5% fee on all recurring revenue that you guys collect. So by example, if you had a installment-based product set up that was obviously going for 10 installments, there would be an additional charge on recurring revenue. So you guys may be seeing some smaller fees going sort of out of the account to Stripe, etc. Whereas obviously with Stripe Connect Express, that isn't there. So you guys are pocketing absolutely everything of that. So obviously with the transaction fees reduced and then also that recurring revenue fee not being there, you guys are looking to potentially save quite a lot over the coming season on your membership and match fee products. So as you can see down at the bottom there's a little graphic that just outlines the savings that you'd look to make on this is just a £20 payment. Some of you may charge that for match fees, by example. But as you can see on the Pro package currently, you'll be charged 68p, on the standard 78p, and then with the new lower fees on the Pro package, it's 58p, and on the standard 70p. So as you can see, sort of small sums of money there, but you are looking to definitely save if you are to move over to Stripe Connect Express. So as I mentioned, obviously with the transaction fees, you guys will benefit from the lowest fees possible if you move to Stripe Connect Express. So on the standard package, the new fees will be 2.17% plus 15p. That is exclusive of that. And on the Pro package, it's 1.67% plus 15p. Again, exclusive of that. So as always, any other questions that you guys may have on that, feel free to get in touch or just pop them in the Q&A section as we're running through. There is also a few other bits and pieces to mention on Stripe Connect Express. So as I say, one of the big ones is that no recurring charge on the recurring revenue. So that's quite a big one. As I say, 0.5% doesn't sound like a lot, but when you add it up over the course of the season, it can obviously tally up quite a little bit. There is sort of key differences between the Connect Express account and the Stripe account. So one of them is there's an £100 limit on the account. So it just basically it protects you guys from any refunds, chargebacks, etc., that may be incurred on the account. So you have to collect £100 in the account before a payout's there. So there's always going to be £100 in that account, again, just to really protect the clubs from any additional charges that you may face. And also, it's a weekly payout. So you may be used to daily payouts. By example, with Stripe, those are weekly. They are processed on a Monday. And generally speaking, you're probably looking at sort of middle of the week when it lands into the club's bank account. So that's sort of the two key differences. As I say, I'll have a little bit of a pause there, as I know there'll probably be some questions that either a lot of you will be aware of this because we have been sending comms around about it, or some of you, this will be the first you're hearing of it. So I'll pause for a minute. Any questions that you want to ask, please feel free to put them in Q&A, and obviously we can cover those before we move on. Lovely stuff. Doesn't appear to be too many questions on that. So I'm hoping that means that everyone sort of received emails and read through them and is fairly familiar with Stripe Connect Express and got things set up. But as I say, there is just one question that's come in from Joe. So recurring fee is only on installments. It's not the same guy paying same match. No, it is literally something that you recur. So by example, you'll have, to be honest, Joe, the easiest way is for you to probably have a look through. You'll receive comms about it from Stripe. So if you just sort of go back and search for like recurring revenue charge, you'll find the email from them. And then obviously you can sort of read into detail about it rather than me try and explain over here. So, or alternatively, you can just get in touch with us and we can directly have a chat about it. Lovely stuff. So we'll get into the actual sort of more webinar side of things, the demo side of things. Now, if there's any questions about Stripe Connect Express, obviously do feel free to put them in and we can always circle back to them. But obviously for this one, moving payments online, etc., we're going to cover obviously why you should move payments online, benefits, etc., how Pitchera can help with it, the lower transaction fees, as we've already been over with Stripe Connect Express. And then obviously we'll go through sort of the demo and Q&A as per usual. So starting off with why online payments. Obviously, you guys will probably be familiar by now. It reduces the club admin a lot for the treasurer, etc., with all the reports that you can generate and just really easily work out who has and hasn't paid. Really nice and quick way to do it. Obviously, off the back of that as well, you can automatically sort of update member records by associating membership questions on that payment form. And then obviously that will then update year by year a sort of certain cohort of membership information that you may want to capture, whether that be the 2024 terms and conditions, whether it be medical conditions, allergies, etc., etc. You can capture all that information, obviously then tie it into the membership as well. And then obviously on there, you can create recurring payments. So whether that be a subscription payment or installments, obviously you can capture absolutely everything that you need to, and then you can just sort of pull it through the season, not have to do too much work, not have to think about it, and you can just sort of see the money coming in month by month. And then obviously off the back of that, you've got all the reports that you hasn't paid, and obviously that will then help with the increase in revenue at the club. In terms of sort of increasing revenue, there's a few things that you guys could actually look to do. We've had sort of a few reports from clubs that have started to sell sponsorship in a different way. So most clubs obviously in the past have gone for whether it's boards around the ground, a scoreboard sponsor, a clubhouse sponsor, match day sponsor, etc. Clubs have actually looked to expand that with obviously the website. So you've got player sponsors, team sponsors, site-wide sponsors, and then header sponsors. So they can categorize them, whether it's something like platinum, gold, silver, bronze sponsorships. And then you charge £10, £20, £30, £70, something like that for the different tiers. It's just a way to bring an extra little bit of money into the club. So we've had reports from certain clubs that have done it over the past year or so, and the general feedback has been they've brought in sort of up between like £3,000 and £7,000 extra a year. Now, don't get me wrong, they're not massive figures, but it's money that can be in the club's pocket. And obviously, help drive things forward. Obviously on and off the field, whether it's repairs in the clubhouse, obviously making changes to the square, etc., the nets, all that stuff. It's money you guys can obviously get into the club and then reinvest and really sort of help move things forward. So one of the benefits of the online payments, like I say, it all comes down to the reporting side of it. So we found that 70% of match fees get paid within the first 48 hours of the prompt being sent out. And obviously that's of the fixture being played as well. So it is a really quick turnaround for you guys to see sort of the payments coming in and not have to really nag at people and chase constantly. So obviously you've got the nice, easy way to request payments. So with that, it's obviously you get the first 70% in, and then off the back of that, you can really sort of chase people specifically if you need to, message them, send them their reprompts through the apps and really direct it at them. So it makes your life a lot easier, not have to wait until a Tuesday at training and say, have you got your £10 match fee for me? So on and so forth. It's a really nice, easy, quick way. Obviously, again, showing who's paid and not paid, helps increase the revenue because it doesn't just slip through the net. Like I say, really easy way to request payments. Again, tracking the reporting of every payment, and also the member being able to pay 24/7 is a massive benefit. So obviously, if you've got people that work night shifts, by example, and you're trying to chase them on a morning or in the afternoon, etc., then they're not able to make the payments when you're around. You don't need to. You can just send them the prompt. They'll pick it up as and when they do, and then they can make that payment, whether it's 3 in the morning or 3 in the afternoon. They've got the options to do it as and when they need to. So obviously you may find that you've still got old sort of methods at the clubs. I mean, the most common one we have, as you can see on sort of point 3 there, is it says Bob has a system. Just someone at the club has a system, and people say, "Oh, it works." But we really sort of do drive people to look into the online payment collection because obviously, like I say, really revolves around the reporting side of it. Nothing slips through the net when you've got the reporting element of it. As good as Bob may be, and obviously the best will in the world, no one wants to miss anything, but there is human error involved. Obviously, with the sort of allocation of payments and products, you're not going to miss any of those payments. And obviously, one of them is there, as people say, it's too expensive. Again, with those missing payments, you're probably going to find, as most of the clubs do that use Pitch Hero, that before you use Pitch Hero, you would have collected maybe 80% of your membership for the season. Whereas when you come onto Pitch Hero, it's up towards the high end of the 90s, 100%. So you'll end up actually taking more revenue than you previously would have, even though obviously you have those transaction fees involved. And again, with the transaction fees getting lowered, it's even more money for your guys' pockets. So obviously, how do you get started with the payments? Again, this sort of ties in with Stripe Connect Express. So obviously, you go into the payment tools area within your admin dashboard, and then you've got the payment providers. So you'll go into that, and then you can just add a payment provider. You'll choose either Go Cardless or Stripe Connect Express, and then from there, you can then obviously connect it up to the club's bank account, and then start creating your products off the back of that. Upload all your membership, send out your prompts, and then obviously again, it's a case of once those prompts go out and members can just make a nice, easy payment on their phone, you'll see the sort of money start pouring in at the start of the season. And additionally to that, you can also link everything up to like a Club Shop daily report, which basically means that your webmasters with access to shopping payments, they can get a daily email that gives them a breakdown of what's been purchased. So you can actually really see sort of in real time what's coming in and what's being purchased. It's a nice handy feature to have, and obviously you can just toggle that on and off as you need to. So if you want to toggle it on for the first month or so of membership and then turn it off, you can do so. It's a nice easy way to sort of, like I say, make sure everything's going successfully with that membership. So obviously there we've got end of that side of things. So we'll move on to the sort of run through of a couple of different bits. As most of you guys will be aware of how to set up your match fees and the products, we'll just do a bit of a recap just to make sure that you are all good. If there's any questions that you've got along the way, feel free to just pop them in again in that Q&A section and we can cover those off as we're moving through. So again, just circling back to the Stripe Connect Express side of things, if you guys are interested in it and you want to learn a little bit more, Under the payment tools area, you will have a tab that says Stripe Connect Express. It will take you to this page, and then obviously from there, you can have a read through and get a further understanding for what Stripe Connect Express can offer you and the benefits to it, other than just the lower transaction fees. So I would suggest, obviously, really push you guys to go and have a look into that. And then any questions you've got, just get in touch with us and we can sort of help advise and answer those as and where needed. So again, that's payment tools on the admin dashboard, then Stripe Connect Express. So obviously, when setting up your membership for the new season, you guys will probably find that last year you had something that was set up and worked really well. If you want to keep the same sort of setup, it's really easy to do. So all you do is you go into the products under shop and payments. And if you think, oh, my membership was actually really good last year, it worked really efficiently, I liked how the products were set up, the pricing's just going to change a little bit. Again, you go and click on these three little dots. And then from there, you can see it says clone product. So what you can then do is you can go in and press clone product. It will then give you a bit of an overview of absolutely everything. We'll remove that clone tag and then we'll put membership domain 24. And then again, you choose your payment provider. So by example, if you were using Stripe and you wanted to change Stripe Connect Express and you set that up, you can then just change that product for the upcoming season to that. You can choose a description, include it in that daily report that I mentioned, and then you've got all the different variants down here. So like I say, if you're happy with all of them, you just scroll through and make sure they're all in order, maybe change the price of them here and there if needs be, and then you can move down, select how available it is. If you want to clone existing assignments, etc., you can do so. Same with the payment form. Then all you do is press create product, and then that's redone for the start of the season. So it's a really, really simple process to get moving for the season. Obviously, if you were to have cloned a product, you can then go in and archive last year's products. So if I just go back into this products area here, I can then go into this product again and hit archive. That will then pull it off this page. You can then just use the filters area here and then go in and look at archive products if you need to go back at the reporting and have a look. But what it does, it just stops members from being able to repurchase it. If anyone's still in a sequence of paying installments, etc., or in subscriptions, then they will be continued to be taken for any outstanding fees, etc. So sort of no worries on that side of it. But it's a nice, easy way to keep your shop on the front end of things and your dashboard nice and clean for the upcoming season. Obviously, with setting up brand new products, if you don't have anything set up already and you're not sort of happy with how it was last year and you do want to just start from scratch, then you just go into add new products in the top there. And then you can choose, obviously, you've got membership, you've got tickets and tours. So if you guys are looking to sell anything like that throughout the season, whether it be a dinner, a summer ball, club barbecue, whatever it may be, race night, etc. You can obviously do that through Pitchera using the tickets. If you've got capacities as well, if your clubhouse has got a capacity of 200, you can set capacities on tickets as ticketing products as well, so that you can't oversell it and then obviously have to let a few people down. Obviously, other than that, as you can see, there's fundraising, so you can collect custom donations from members, and you can have a bit of a counter on there as well. Sponsorship, as I mentioned earlier, that's on there. Then you've got merchandise and teamwear as well. So there's a whole host of different things that you guys can sell, not just your membership. So obviously for this one, we will stick with membership. We'll go into that, and then obviously you've got a step-by-step video. If you want to watch that, you can do. Then you get hit with two questions. So does your product have different pricing structures? You've got yes and no. So obviously yes would be if it's senior, junior student, you've got a senior rate, a social member rate, then you've got the under 18, 16, so on and so forth. Then you press yes for that. If it's just one flat fee across the club, again, you press no. Most clubs will be in the position where they're pressing yes. Then the next one is there more than one way for your member to pay for the product? Again, this is basically just giving people a bit of a difference and a more flexibility in how they pay. So no would just mean that you select one way of payment and that's how members pay. If you press yes, you've then got the customization to say, just by example, it's a one-off fee of £150, and then there's also the option for a product to be £150, but it'd be installments paid over 10 monthly installments at £15, by example. So you can, or again, five monthly payments, £30. So you've got the options there, fully customizable for you guys and what you want to do. At this moment in time, a lot of clubs are obviously often offering payment plans with installments. Excuse me. Just with the cost of living crisis, etc. So, like I say, it's a nice, handy feature to have, and would generally push people towards it, just making obviously cricket and sports in general that little bit more accessible to your members. And then it's just through to the product creation. Most of you will be aware of what this is. So we'll just put membership, and then you create your different options. So we'll call it senior, and then you choose individual. You can do group and family as well. So that's obviously the option to create sibling discounts, etc. You've got that customization in there as well. So if this one, we'll choose individual. And then, like I say, different ways for people to pay. Subscription, that's obviously just a set amount that's recurring monthly, weekly, however, whatever cadence you choose until cancelled by club or member. Then installments, like I say, if it's £150, you can choose that it's 10 monthly payments of £15. And obviously it's rolling until that has all been collected. And then one-off payment is exactly what it says on the tin. It's just one lump sum up front. And that's you set for the season. So again, we'll just put £150, go through that, and then you can choose all the different options, etc. Customization further with the payment provider, name, description, image to make it look nice. A lot of clubs just put their logo on there, makes it look nice and clean. And then obviously you've got the availability, so all members can purchase it. We'll include it on the Club Shop Daily Report. Then you create your product, and from there, as you guys again will all be probably aware, you can go in, assign your members to those products, send out those prompts, filter it by roles of, let's say it's just for the players in team, first team, third team, and second team for this instance. Filter it down to that, choose those 76 members, create those assignments. That then sends out, and then you'll obviously hopefully see these not paid statuses start to turn green and show paid. Then you'll see the money come flying in. We've got one question in here, so I will just take a brief stop before I move on to any other bits and pieces. So if there's any other questions, obviously just pop it in, but we'll just give it a minute or so just to see if there are any more coming through. So we've got a question in here that says, is subscription a recurring type of payment without fees? Can't say I follow that one. So obviously every payment has a transaction fee associated to it. So if a subscription would be, you just say that it's £12 that's going to be taken monthly, by example. And then if a member signs up to that, £12 would be taken monthly until it was cancelled by the club or member, by example. So there would still be transaction fees obviously associated to every single transaction that was made. So hopefully that answers that one. If not, then just please feel free to obviously clarify and ask anything further. Lovely. So doesn't appear to be anything just yet on that. So I'll move over to the match fees element of this. So obviously with you guys for the start of the year on the match fees. So if we go into match fees and then products, you'll have a list of all the match fees that you've set up last year. And then from there, obviously you can just go into them and just check them and edit them. So go into this product, got all the outstanding assignments. Hopefully you guys don't have quite so many as we do on this account outstanding from last year. But then obviously you can go through and have a look at the transaction, what teams are associated to it. Just obviously there's none on this one, but just make sure it is the correct teams. And then go into info and you can edit absolutely everything you want. So if you decide, by example, a student was £7 last year, you're going to be nice and drop it down to £6, let's say. So you can just amend that, hit update. That will then update that price. Any outstanding assignments, it won't update them. They'll stay at the old rate from last season. It just means anything new for what you've set after you've obviously updated it will then go out at that rate. So it's a nice, easy way just to sort of keep everything intact. And obviously the reporting is nice and simple because it's just one product. You can then obviously just go in and amend the pricing, etc. If you do have it connected to an old Stripe account, by example, you can just click on the payment provider, the little pencil next to that. And then obviously we do just have this Stripe account. But if you have a Stripe Connect Express account set up and you want to get those lower fees for your match fees, then you can just toggle it over to that in here. Really nice and simple to do. So no sort of stress on that side of it. It's a really easy way to obviously just make sure that you're set for the new season. And again, with match fees, really handy feature. So if we go into the products, and then we'll click into, we'll use this one again. With the assignments, obviously when you look into filtering it, etc., you can go into it and filter it by team. So just before you start this new season, you can obviously just go in and double check absolutely everything's boxed off. You'll obviously be able to see filter it by the status as well. So you can go, I just want to see those that are not paid for the first team and second team, by example, run through, make sure they're boxed off, request all outstanding payments that may still be on there, send those out. Any messages that need to go, obviously, just make sure they're out. Just make sure you're really starting the season from a clean slate and everything from the previous season's captured. Obviously, if you run through and go, oh, this person only played one game, they don't need to be on there, then you can again just click on the three little dots on the right hand side of their name, and then you can just delete the assignment so that you sort of don't have anything outstanding for the season coming from prior seasons. Because obviously, once you get in a couple of weeks into this season, that'll just get lost, and then it's obviously it's money that you guys won't be able to reconcile that easily. So I really would push you guys to sort of make sure that everything is in order, whether it's marking them off as paid, further requesting it, sending a message to them, or just removing them if you know that they played one game, two games, you're not going to see them again. Nice, easy way to sort of do that side of it. Cool. We've got a couple of questions in, so again, we'll just take a brief pause and get those run through. So we've got a follow-up to the previous question on subscription. So referring to the recurring fees, and if it doesn't apply, no, yeah, it does. It does apply to. So that's a recurring charge. So if someone's having a recurring payment set up, by example, there. So yeah, that's a recurring charge. So subscriptions and installments, as I said earlier, are the types of things that would be within that recurring revenue charge. As I say, that's just for Stripe. If you move to Stripe Connect Express, you don't have that issue. Joe's asked if you have outstanding matches from last year and you want to keep that record and you normally end up doing a mass reminder midweek, will it go back to last season or can you export that list? So that's what I mean, sort of by that side of things, Joe. So if you request all payments, it will send a reminder for literally any outstanding payment. Anyone with that not paid status on them, they will receive a notification, whether they've got one outstanding fee or 15. They'll receive that notification. So yeah, I would really sort of encourage you guys to make sure that you just go through before the start of the season and either whether it's just mark the assignment as paid or delete the assignment, and you're sort of happy to just box it off for the upcoming season, then do that so it's a bit of a clean slate for the sort of upcoming season. So hopefully that answers that one. Lovely stuff. Doesn't appear to be any more questions. So yeah, obviously this side of it with it being sort of revolving around you guys collecting payments and setting things up, it is fairly quick. It's fairly sharp, short and sharp webinar. Give the rest of your evening back. But just as a recap, obviously Stripe Connect Express is one of the big things with revenue this year for you guys. Really should just jump on it and get the lower fees, and then from there. Obviously, if you have got any questions, as always, you can contact myself. Again, that's w.dunkerley@pitchhero.com, or the support team, which is, again, support@pitchhero.com. And we can obviously answer any questions that you may have about it. If you're sort of wondering what the benefits are for your club, etc., in terms of revenue you collected last year versus this year, what you're going to be saving, all that stuff, we can obviously run through everything with you if needs be. So please feel free to reach out. Again, it is also, there's a lot of information within the payment tools and Stripe Connect Express here. Also, if you were to go on to help.pitchhero.com, the help website, there is a whole host of articles in there about Stripe Connect Express as well. So everything's sort of outlined. There's a whole host of content about it for you guys to really sort of look through and make sure it is the right thing for you. But as I say, I'm sure it will be, because the main thing that every club wants is to obviously a bit more money in their pockets. And that is exactly what this is going to be giving you. So it's one of the key things. Obviously, another thing for you guys to look out for with the season is just how you can potentially maximize a bit more revenue, whether it's, like I say, sponsorship and just sort of running a few more tiered sponsorships, whether it's an extra £10, £20, £30 here, various tickets for your events. And then also a big one is your reporting on your membership and match fees. Make sure that's up to date. Make sure everyone's tagged in the products they need to be so you can really just hone in on it and make sure everyone is paying exactly what you need to for this upcoming season. Because that is the big one when we speak to clubs that loses people revenue. It's the case of not being able to reconcile it and not properly doing it. So obviously assigning products at the start of the season is a big sort of a big thing for you guys to jump on and make the most of so that you can then maximize that revenue and make sure that every member is paying exactly what they need to. Should you obviously make a mistake with anything, you assign someone the wrong product, you need to assign them like an over 40s membership, by example, you can obviously just go in and amend that if needs be. You can remove assignment and then add them to something, a new product. So there's nothing too arduous about that, or there shouldn't be any issues with it either. So again, like I say, just make sure everyone's assigned to a product, make sure that's all up to date and your reporting is on absolute fire, and then hopefully you'll be all set to go for the season. Again, we've got hopefully sort of one last question here. Colin said, fine, I cannot reconcile what we receive in our bank account with the list of individual payments. Right. So that's obviously you've got all the transaction reporting where you can filter it specifically over date and time periods, etc. Colin. So you believe you should be able to do that. If you are having issues with it, again, feel free to just contact myself directly and we can have a chat about it and run through things. Because yeah, I believe obviously with the sort of payment providers, GoCardless, Stripe, etc., that you'll be absolutely fine to reconcile the payments. So like I say, just get in touch with myself or send something to support with. For the attention of Will, and then yeah, obviously feel free to sort of just get in touch. Damien's asked regarding tickets for events, say Summer Ball, is there any pitch area cost overhead? No, it's all just the transaction fees, Damien. So obviously, if you are taking tickets, if you are selling tickets, etc., excuse me, if you are selling tickets, it's just obviously with every product on Pitcher, it's just the transaction fees that are associated. Obviously, if you're using again Stripe Connect Express, you'll be getting the lower fees on that. So nothing too crazy. There's no overhead costs or hidden fees, etc., with selling tickets. Lovely stuff. It doesn't appear to be any further questions, so yeah, we'll end things there. And obviously, if you do have any questions that haven't been answered, or something nagging that you think about in an hour or so's time, I know that happens with me. I'll leave something and then think, oh, I should have asked that. Again, always contact myself or support. More than happy to tell where we are. So again, just a thank you for joining, guys, and hope you have a lovely rest of your evening.